This just in. Have you ever stared at a mandatory corporate AI tool, watched it completely hallucinate a massive spreadsheet, and prayed for a literal divine intervention to save you from the technological nightmare? Well, apparently somebody up there was actually listening. In what might be the absolute funniest outcome of the modern corporate obsession with mandatory automation, desperate employees are discovering that they don't have to suffer through broken algorithms anymore. They can simply claim a religious exemption. According to a highly entertaining report by Business Insider, a software engineer just successfully used her faith to legally opt out of using artificial intelligence at work, opening the floodgates for frustrated workers everywhere. As a StoryBrand certified guide, I am constantly begging business owners to stop outsourcing their critical thinking to a lazy algorithm. If you try to fake your competence using a machine, you don't look like an innovative genius. You look like a desperate fraud, and your clients will aggressively abandon you. But let's rip apart the sheer hilarity of using federal civil rights law to escape automated slop, explore why the Pope literally wants to disarm artificial intelligence, and discuss how you can build a fiercely human brand that doesn't require a divine intervention to function. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Vicky Sidler, a StoryBrand certified guide and duct tape marketing strategist from the Strategic Marketing Tribe. And I help small business owners like you build failure-proof marketing by focusing on the exact 20% of effort that drives 80% of the results. All so that your marketing stops feeling like a miserable second job you never asked for. But let's be honest, if your messaging is confusing or tries to say everything at once, your ideal clients will instantly ignore you. That's what my 5-minute marketing fix was built to solve. Stop losing sales. Download the fix now. You can get it for free in the description below, or you can go to strategicmarketingtribe.com/fix. Okay, now with all of that out of the way, did the Pope just save us from corporate AI? If you thought the pushback against generative AI was limited to angry copywriters and striking Hollywood actors, you vastly underestimated the Vatican. In a strongly worded rebuke last month, Pope Leo released a major encyclical calling for artificial intelligence to be explicitly disarmed. He demanded that the technology be freed from the logic that turns it into an instrument of domination, exclusion, and death. It was a massive philosophical rejection of the tech industry's entire operating model. But the absolute funniest possible outcome of the letter is how it directly applies to American labor laws. By declaring that AI threatens fundamental human dignity, Pope Leo essentially handed every single Catholic employee a pre-written, spiritually mandated excuse to avoid using their company's mandatory AI chatbot. But how did one engineer actually pull this off? While Catholics are busy updating their HR files, a 34-year-old software engineer named Aaron Mouse actually beat them to the punch. Mouse, who works for a tech entertainment company in North Carolina, is a Unitarian Universalist, which is a pluralistic religion rooted in the inherent worth of every person. In April, she marched into her HR department and argued that being forced to use AI directly conflicted with her religious beliefs. She cited deep ethical issues and the massive environmentally damaging water usage of AI data centers, which has become a major bipartisan concern. In mid-May, her employer completely caved and granted her the unusual accommodation. She is now happily writing and reviewing all her own code entirely by hand. Just 2 years ago, asking to write code by hand instead of using the latest tech would have seemed completely insane. Today, it is a protected religious right. But is the algorithm actually making anyone faster? The corporate justification for forcing employees to use AI is always centered around a massive, mythical boost in productivity. But Mouse just drove a bulldozer straight through that narrative. Since securing her religious exemption, Mouse found that completing her coding tasks entirely by hand was just as quick as her colleagues who were actively using the company's mandated AI tools. She explicitly noted to Business Insider that AI simply doesn't seem to be the game changer executives claim it is. When you strip away the billionaire press releases, the reality is that employees are wasting so much time fighting with hallucinating language models and cleaning up automated slop that the supposed efficiency gains completely evaporate. If a human being typing on a keyboard can match the output of a multi-billion-dollar supercomputer, your mandatory AI policy isn't a productivity hack. It is a religious ordeal. So, why is your HR department about to panic? Well, if you think Erin Mouse is just a weird, isolated outlier, you need to call your employment lawyer immediately. Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act prohibits employment discrimination based on religion, and the modern legal system has a notoriously low bar for what constitutes a sincerely held religious belief. With the precedent of COVID-19 era vaccine mandates already lowering the bar for workplace accommodations, courts are heavily primed to side with employees seeking exemptions. As workplace discrimination specialist John Meehan warns, employers are completely exposed. Dismissing these requests could land companies in massive, expensive litigation. If your company relies on forcing frustrated employees to use AI against their will, you are essentially daring them to find Jesus just to escape the algorithm. But how do you build a business that doesn't require an exemption? If your employees are literally using federal civil rights legislation to avoid using the software you bought for them, your business system is fundamentally broken. You must realize that the ultimate competitive advantage right now is the undeniable emotional signal of real, verified human competence. Your customers do not want to interact with automated slop, and your employees clearly do not want to produce it. To command premium pricing and generate fierce loyalty, you must position yourself as an empathetic, highly skilled guide who actually reads, thinks, and creates original value. You need a clear structural foundation to secure your brand identity before your staff launches a holy crusade against your tech stack. So get my 5-minute marketing fix. This rapid diagnostic tool uses your actual human brain to craft a crystal clear story brand one-liner. Remember, you cannot prompt your way to customer trust. Prove to your buyers that your business isn't a careless, automated joke, but a fiercely authentic human operation that actually does the work. Okay, but what about you? What is the most spectacularly successful example of a massive group of people simply refusing to comply with a terrible automated system? I'll go first. When the South African government spent billions installing a highly invasive automated e-toll tracking and billing system across the highways of Gauteng, the public collectively decided to just not participate. The boycott was so massively successful that the entire system financially collapsed, and the government was forced to officially scrap the multi-billion rand project in 2024. Okay, your turn. What comes to mind for you? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, you might like this one too. It's about the AI hangover and why corporate work slop is rotting your business. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.